The 2024 Wyoming High School State Cross Country Championships are this Saturday in Cheyenne at Little America Golf Course. And kind enough to preview the championship races again with me, Sean Wilde, the head coach at Cheyenne Central High School. And Sean, thanks again for doing this. First of all, how much of a benefit is it for you guys to host cross country? I know it can be a lot of work spread between the three high schools, the ADs, the coaches, but is there a big benefit to this being in your backyard a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, being able to sleep in our own beds and not have to travel somewhere, it's just, it's very beneficial for us as coaches and as for our athletes because they don't have to stress out as much and plan as much.
Well, everybody else has to come to you. So here we are coming up on Saturday. Different course this year. Was that already predetermined, or did they just kind of want to mix up the venue for the kids?
No, we wanted to stay at the country club all every year, but they ended up getting some money and they're redoing their facilities. And so they were kind enough to let us know fairly in advance that like, hey, we can't do it next year. And we looked at our options and, coaches really wanted to stay or do it at Prairie View, but it ultimately ended up being the Little America that we did. And, they do a great job with the college race that they do at the beginning of every cross country season. So it worked out pretty nice.
Kind of describe that course. Obviously, a lot of teams came down at the end of August for that state preview meet. How would you describe this course that the runners are going to compete on Saturday?
This course definitely has a lot of change in elevation as well as footing. Cause it's definitely not going to be a walk in the park. Last year everybody was like, oh, it's going to be a really fast course, but it had a deceptive hill right around 2 miles. This course, it's fairly up and down throughout the entirety of it. You got a long hill, you got some short hills, but you got to do a lot of roundabouts going around these tree sections that will make it so that, our athletes do have to be a little bit aware and a little bit awake. They can't fall asleep this year.
So, how does that impact the strategy of the race, do you think, just in general?
Well, I love the conversations that I get to have with Sheridan's coach, Art Bauer. Him and I, we talked about it, strategized about it in our own ways, but, it's very different when we get to go to Prairie View. Anybody can kind of show up and they can have a good race there. At courses like Star Valley has, and the one that we're going to have Saturday in Little America, you actually have to train for it, whether it be getting in some more hills, a little bit more, and making sure that your ankles and your knees can deal with the change and the unevenness of the ground. You need to train for the course that you're going to be doing at the state meet this year, rather than just let's get good, let's get fast.
So as the runners approach Saturday, obviously I know you haven't seen everybody across the state, but how do you feel where cross country is, this year in Wyoming? What have you kind of seen from your perspective, Sean?
Kind of the same I've been seeing for like the last decade that I've been coaching. Cross country in the state of Wyoming is exploding. It's on the up. We're getting fast kids and we're getting a plethora of them. We still have kind of like one kiddo that kind of stands above the rest every now and then, but overall that chase pack, they're closing that gap, and that the amount of people is getting bigger. I mean, it's really exciting, and it's fun to see the sport just really grow and come alive, and just the depth and you know efficiency of it is just it's exciting, and it's a great time to be doing cross country in Wyoming right now.
It is the pinnacle event. It's the state championships this Saturday at Little America Golf Course in Cheyenne. Coach, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to kind of preview this year's championships with me.
Thanks for having me.